What the fuck's going on? Cloud Beast here. I'm going to teach you how to do a very simple, basic build. Show you how to get one of these basic toolkits. These are great. You can find these at any shop all over Orlando, and your local shops if you're out of Orlando probably have. They're the Coil Master kits. We're going to go through one by one and teach you how to build one of these little suckers. Cloud Beast out. Beast here. Just want to go a little hands-on up close and show you guys how to do a very basic build. So what I have in front of me here is a bunch of tools. First thing we need is some wire. So I got some of this wire. It's 24 gauge. I cut it into 1 foot strands. I didn't straighten it because you know what, that's not very basic. So we're just going to go with some of the basics. You're going to see it's going to be kind of jinky, but that's okay. So we have 2 pieces of that. I have a Mutation 4 Addy here, you can see very nicely, all cleaned up, ready to rock and roll. Some other tools I have is the Master Scissors. Oh shit, there we go. So there's that, and they work great. Last thing is kitty cat. A bunch of other tools. I like a pair of nice metal tweezers. A little dental tool. We'll show you how that works. Some ceramic tweezers. Whee! And of course, wire cutters. Last but most important is organic Japanese cotton. Now the tool we're going to use to create these is a basic Coil Master. You can set the diameter however you want your wire. We're going to go with the 25 I think it's millimeter or whatever. 2.5 millimeter. Thank you, Skeletor. And obviously a screwdriver. Okay. One of the things you do need to add to your repertoire of things to buy is an ohm reader. That is super important, so this way you make sure you're always safe, because safety is always first. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to take this little doodaddy, and there's a tiny little hole right there, and you see that little hole? We're just going to stick this wire in the hole, like such, and you want to have a little bit hanging off the side, kind of like that. And we're just going to hold that down, and we're going to get that started with one wrap. Just like that. Then I'm going to take this and just start twisting. Ooh, ah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you want to kind of give it a little press in to keep the coils nice, and it will spring back. It's alright. And then you're just going to unscrew like such. Pop out the end, pull that out like that, and there you go. Look at that, perfect coil. So now let's tighten that up a little bit, make that look a little nice. So we're going to put this back on just like such. And we're going to put it actually on upside down because we want to straighten out that top a little bit. So we're going to take our little tweezers here and just kind of pull that down and then pull. Just like that. Can you grab me those? Alright. So there's that, and that's how that looks. Yeah, just give a pull. Thank you. Forgot one thing. A pair of pliers always works. Makes this really easy. So what you want to do from here is you actually want to give it one good little tug. And you see how it gets like that. And we're going to just follow up, tighten down the top, do a little half twist to even them out. And there you go, perfect coil. We're going to take that and put that off to the side. We're going to do a second coil. Same thing, put it through, hold it down with your thumb, do your half spin. One, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit, it's jacked up. So that happens sometimes. I rushed on purpose because that's going to happen. You see how it gets kind of janky there and they kind of go over each other? Very simply, all you got to do is just cut that wire right there. Pull that off. And that's why we do a foot Put that in the trash. Take your leftover piece, and we're just going to start over. You don't really want to try to fix it because you're just going to get janky wire.
Oh, CBD, peanut butter, and Rocket Man.
All right, so we'll go back, do that again, and we're just going to take our time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you notice, I went opposite direction that time. Very nice, very clean. Pull that off. We're going to do the same thing we did before. Pop that off. Pull it out. All right. There you go. There's that. We're going to put this back on upside down again. Pull that down like that. Oh, rolling away. Pull it tight. Pull that tight. And then do your half just like that. Okay. And let's go back to the first one. Put it back on, and we're going to trim the legs here a little bit. I like to leave, whoops, and she flies. I like to leave about 1 inch to 1.5 inches at the end there, as you see. All right, and then we'll do the same thing with the other one. These are going to go flying. Cover your eyes. Whee! All right, so there's that. Now we're going to put it inside this. Now you notice there's 4 holes. So we're going to try to do a center build, which is very easy, and people kind of freak out when they're like, oh my god, how do I do a center build? It's actually easier than y'all think. What you do is you take your coil, put it up, thank you very much, Skeletor, put that with the trash, put that up at the very top of the thing, a little guide post, and then all you're going to do is just take your, give one bend like that, so it looks like that, and then take your finger and bend it up. So you have like a 90-degree going on there. Very simple. So it ends up looking like such. And then we'll do the same thing with the other one. Put that all the way up on the top. Someone's messing with my BMI box back there.
That's mine. My hex zone.
Oh, that was a hex, sorry. Do the same thing, and there you go. Alright, now, we're going to break out the Addy. Okay, so we're done with these tools for now. What we're going to do is we're going to try to line this up in the center post like such. Alright, it helps if I unscrew the screws. Just a little bit unscrewed. So we're going to take the long leg and go through the center, and then the bent leg through the side. It ends up looking like that. And you notice there's those airflow holes. We want to line up directly over those. And we can do a little changing around. So we're just going to tighten down just a little bit. Push it in. Push it in. Don't tighten it down all the way, just give it a good little nudge so they're at least secure. And if you look, it is right over those air holes. Now, after I get it where I want it, I'm going to tighten down the center post until I see this bend just a hair. I always give a little bend up and then another snip. Just like that. Alrighty, so we're back. I did another coil, same exact way. Didn't cut the leg wrong this time. And I'm going to stick this one in, same way I did before. Let me unscrew it. That usually helps. Alrighty, we're going to stick that in just like that. That's what she said.
Hi-yo.
And just use a little bit of caution. You don't have to be too gentle, but be gentle enough to where you get the legs in there. Get it right where you want it to be. Alright, we're going to tighten it down. Tighten that one down. And then what I do is I actually take the opposite coil and I'll give it a bit of a bend up and out. So this way I can get to that other coil underneath cleanly and cut it ever so nicely without cutting any other leads. Alright, so son of a bitch. So you're gonna wiggle down there and we're gonna pop that one out like that. Whee! So, and there you go.
Hooray for nipples, because without them, movies would be pointless.
And don't worry, I actually did that in the last video that we are going to edit it somehow in and out, show the outtake, because I did nip the lead by accident. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and I want to put it on an Addy. Alright, I'm going to put this on my very trusty BMI box. And I want to fire it. Because I want to warm the coils up till it ends up firing in the middle and flexing in and out like that. You want to have kind of like that Knight Rider look going on. So we're just going to very cautiously give that just like that. And you see they start to get red. I'm going to take these and start to pinch and move and adjust. Move, adjust very nicely. And then at this point, I'm actually going to tighten my screws down all the way. Super tight. Make sure everybody's locked in. Fire it again. Nice. Looks like if you see one side's firing better than the other, that means that that coil is probably not screwed down all the way. So let's go ahead and tighten that up a little bit more. Yep, that was it. And that was the cat jumping off the chair that's holding the camera. So there we go. And firing like a champ. And as you see, they're glowing nice and even. So let's fix this one right here. And kind of press out, press up. And then I'm going to take my little cotton thingies, these little tweezers, squeeze that nice and tight so everything's together. And then I'm going to take the same thing with this side. And you see, very good. Alrighty, so now we got that. We're going to look at this, and it's actually reading at a 0.32. You guys can all see that right there. And I'm kicking at 72 watts. And I got shit, Canthol everywhere. Now we're going to take our little scissors. And this kit, by the way, is the Coil Master kit that I'm using. It is awesome. Take some of this Japanese wire or Japanese cotton. It comes in very nicely inside the bag of Villain Vape stuff. And we're just going to cut maybe a fingernail's length. Just like that. I'm going to try to do two about the same length. So there's one. And two. And I'm going to leave these open because we're going to use those again. Now I'm going to do, and people make the biggest mistake with this. Alright, a lot of people will go ahead and just kind of pinch it, or they'll peel off the top. I personally just take it, give a few twists, just in my finger like that. Doesn't matter, I'm going to cut this off anyway, so it doesn't really matter what it looks like. Alright, you notice it kind of gets black because that's just stuff from your fingers. And you stick that on in there. Just stick that in the addy like such, and it should slide right through. And you're just going to pull it gently. And then give it a little tug back. You want it to kind of have a little free rein back and forth, just like that. Everyone see that? It's just a little tug back and forth. Now we're going to take our other one, do the same exact thing. Pinch, pinch, roll, roll. And if you see how that's not really getting to a point, I'll lick my finger a little bit. And of course, it will form to exactly what I want. Put it through the opposite side. Same thing. Now we have two. Then I'm going to take my scissors, and this is where 90% of people make their mistake. Alright, they either leave too much cotton or not enough cotton. Alright, I tend to go just past the end of the addy. And since I have a center build here, it's pretty easy to just cut right down. So I'm going to cut on both sides just like that. Put the scissors away so I don't stab myself. So now it looks like that. Everyone's like, oh my, it's so short. That's alright, because we're going to do what I call the handlebar mustache technique. And I'm going to take this piece right here with this little dental tool, and I'm just going to tuck it in and under. And I want to get into that well. Damn it, get in the well.
Go to your home.
I know, get your home. Do the same thing on this side. And you actually, I don't mind if the cotton tends to expand out. It's kind of called the pancake technique. So then you have more stuff, more cotton absorbing in the bottom. Then we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Nice and even. Kind of just tuck it in. And then tuck this side in, same exact way. And just be gentle, don't have to be aggressive with it. Tuck that in, nice and pleasant. And then make sure you clean underneath here. You want to make sure that there's airflow that's going to get in under the coil. If you have cotton blocking that space, you're not going to be able to get air to it. So it should actually, there you go, there's that, should look very much like that. Alright, and we have that on both sides very nicely, and you can actually see through the addy there. Then we're going to grab some juice. I have here one of my local vapes, my favorites, Brown Boxer. This is their Harvest blend. Brown Boxer, very nice. Dave ever so nicely donated this to me. I love it. I can vape this stuff all day long. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to saturate this coil. Now the build we ended up doing came to a 0.03, which is very, very safe, not too low. You don't want to, if you're a beginner, you don't want to go below 0.02, because then it'll get too hot, and you probably don't have the proper kind of batteries to support that. So you want to be safe with your batteries, and you want to be safe. So right after I do the initial wicking and juicing, cat's back, I always kind of mold my cotton where I want it to be. And by shaping that, you can kind of get a permanent shape of the cotton doing it that way. It's pretty cool how it just kind of stays. And Joplin here is messing up. So then after I mold it, I'm going to hit it one more time with some juice down on the bottom of each side of the mustache. Kind of, you can call it the handlebars. Just all four sides, and then one across the top, across the top. I'm going to wait for a second and wait for that to absorb in. And that's it. Now we're going to go ahead and fire. And there we go. Simple, basic build. Turned out to be a 0.32, and we're doing at 72 watts. And that is a nice, raging little coil. Alrighty. If anyone has any tips, suggestions, comments, go ahead, hit us up. You'll find the comment section. If you want me to do more of these builds, I'll be more than happy to. Also, put that in the comment section. If you want to subscribe, hit that little thumbs up button. Alrighty, guys. Appreciate it. And this is Cloud Beast out. And fuck, we're going to start this video over again because I just snipped the wrong side. Son of a bitch. And that's how you do a single coil.